Greetings to you. I welcome you to Be a Kasa channel on YouTube. Today we are talking about the sex for grace allegations leveled against some universities by the BBC. We have to appreciate that both male students and female students fall victims to some unprofessional attitude of most lecturers. We have to also set the record straight. Attitudes of lecturers is that some of them tend to even insult students. Yes, they will come to your class and insult you. Some of them will, in fact, one way or the other, threaten you that my handouts are not compulsory to buy, but caution, furnish me with the names of those who buy. For what? So if you can't afford a handout, lo and behold, you will be failed. Yes, you will. There are times that even guys are failed just because they're in a relationship with a particular lady and the lecturer has eye for that lady, or the lecturer has been chasing the lady for some time now. A student, male student, can be failed. Yes, can be failed or trailed severally. The reporting systems that exist in our schools are not student friendly. Yes, that is how I see it, and I'm sure it cuts across every public institutions in this country, where because students are junior members, our reporting systems deter people from coming to report, even those who have genuine concerns. Yes, in an issue where a student or a lecturer is harassing a student, a female student, and that student is supposed to come and report, the first thing they will tell you is that, right, yes, that's the first thing. Write a letter. You write a letter to the SLC or the dean of students, depending on how your institution is structured. And then from there, it moves to a disciplinary committee where a school counselor, who is likely to be a lecturer and a management member, sits on the same committee. You come there to come and explain to them what your case is. The inability of our university management to punish lecturers who are culprits to these offenses. So these things also deter students, because after all, if I go and report, what happens? Nothing. I will carry the burden on my neck that this guy or this girl came to report. And one funny thing is that most of these lecturers, after being reported, after an investigation has proved that they indeed committed that crime, they are still made to lecture. Some, very painfully, they end up lecturing these ladies who come out to report them and mark their script. So what happens afterwards? How would that female student advise his other colleague that if your lecturer harasses you or tells you that if you don't come and have sexual relationship with me, I'm going to fail you? They would not, certainly. And to become one old story hanging up on students on campus, and they'll be telling generations to generations that this is how our school system is. Hence, the low confidence in reportage of crimes. Students will not come out to come and report, because when they report, no action is being seen taken. No action. I said earlier on, if you come and report to whoever you are supposed to report, first it starts with write a letter. Write a letter to a disciplinary committee, the school counselor. It goes from there. If they can't solve it, it goes to the dean's office or dean of students or vice dean of students. It goes to their offices. They say if they can't handle it, it has to go to management. And through all this process, remember, you are still a student. If you don't take time, this lecturer is still lecturing you. That is how unfortunate our university processes are when it comes to reporting crimes or offenses. So these people are still lecturing you, and you are supposed to come out and report them. They are going to, I'm telling you, some of these cases can elapse to the end of a semester or a trimester, depending on how your university system is. And these people are going to be your lecturers. In fact, some of them take more than 2 courses. So if you don't meet them there, they are going to meet them up ahead. So these are some of the issues why students do not go and report. Hence, they will come to Twitter rather to complain that in fact this man sexually harassed me, this man did this to me whilst I was on campus. It is not out of place to organize workshops and professional training for lecturers. But what I'm also advocating is that after these trainings are done, some form of knowledge about how lecturers are supposed to behave professionally. So it's supposed to trickle down to students. Students are supposed to have the information that a lecturer is supposed to be professional doing this to that. So because when we know our right, no one can abuse it. And when the offenders know that we know our right, they can't come and offend us. So it is important that the training for lecturers does not just end with lectures. It should trickle down, and students are supposed to be informed that this and this and this and that are supposed to be the professional ethics of my lecture. And so when you violate them, I know this lecture has violated them, but this lecture is not supposed to behave like this towards me. You get it? And when the lecturer also knows that students know these things, hardly will they come and comment themselves. Universities have to strive to remove the human face of our examination process. Yes, lecturers can set the questions, also write down their answers, and then be given to an examination body, maybe within the university. These things can be computerized, and then during the exams, the students will write exams on the computer. Hence, the lecturers do not have the right to fail students or not after lecturing them. Yes, of course. Yes, because if the lecturers continue to have the human face throughout the examination process, some of them tend up abusing these rights. And students, especially female students, feel threatened because I know this man is going to mark my script and he's asking for sexual favors from me. How then do I reject or go and report? So it is important that universities have to strive to use technology to improve the examination process. In fact, we have to encourage presentations and workshops. Yes, in my school, that is one thing I'm proud of. One thing I'm proud of my institution, University for Development Studies, WA campus, is that you end up not just writing to pass. You are going to be judged on your presentation skills and a lot of things. The notion that our universities are autonomous. Trust me, you are enjoying a chunk of your monies, your inflows from government. Your government are paying your lecturers and putting up infrastructure on campuses, and then they will come and tell you that they are autonomous. I thought they were only enjoying academic freedom. Government has to be concerned in this issue. Government must be interested. Government must be interested on how universities are handling students. They will come and tell you that they are autonomous, hence government should not infiltrate in their university systems. But one thing is that the students themselves, we are suffering. In fact, nobody is there to speak for us. Because when you go and report, it is all management personnel, university lecturers, who are going to sit down as a committee to investigate this matter. Hence, what happens? So I'm sure the government or security agencies are supposed to be interested in what happens to us on campuses. If all these anti-harassment committees in our various institutions, there must be some regional representatives or municipal representatives of the security personnel in there, at least to serve as a check that the university follows due process in trying to investigate and punish corporate found in the sexual harassment issues on campus.